Okay, so we're not going to waste any time. We want you up and running as quickly as possible. So we're going to just dive in. And the very first thing that you're going to want to do is set up your account. So in order to do that, the very first step is to go to business.google.com. Okay, and depending on whether you've ever set up your Google My Business account before, or somebody has set it up for you, or whatever, you might see something different. If you're not logged into Google already, then of course it'll prompt you. But otherwise, most of you should probably see something like this. And then all you want to do is manage your business. So you can hit Manage Now. Okay, and you're going to find and manage your business as the first step, because Google knows that sometimes people have already set up their business accounts, or someone had set it up on their behalf, so it always prompts you to try to find your business first. So you would type your business name, and then Google will let you know if it exists or not. So let me just see off the top of my head. Let's see, we got lots of snow today. So let's say I'm a snow removal company. So I'll just say Best Snow, I don't know, maybe like this. I'll just say Best Snow Removal. Let's say that's the name of my company. Okay, and it says create a business with this name, which pretty much means it didn't find something with that business name already in existence. And you could also start here. If you can't find your business, add your business to Google. Okay, so we're just going to say create a business with this name. Okay, and then we have to agree to the terms of service and privacy policy. So you could have a look at that. Then you would just click next. And then, do you want to add a location customers can visit? So basically, what happens with your business is you're rather going to have a business where you go out to the customer. So like if I had a snow removal company, obviously I would have to go out to the customer. I wouldn't have customers come in because, you know, my snow, if I'm a snow removal company, my snow probably has already been removed. So you would either offer services at their location, or you offer services at your location. So the good thing about this question is, let's say that you're a home-based business and you don't want people to actually know your home address. So this is wonderful, because that all you need to do is indicate to Google that you offer services, but you offer it at client sites. And then Google will only use your address to communicate with you. It will not actually post it on Google Maps, which is wonderful, because I mean, we really shouldn't be posting our address out there to strangers, right? So if you have a brick and mortar shop or a retail shop or a restaurant where people come in, you're going to click yes. Otherwise, you're going to click no, and then you're going to click on next. Basically, in this section, Google is just giving you the opportunity to start naming the areas that you offer service in. So this is really good and important, because again, everything's based on keywords, right? And the area you service can also be keywords. So I'm in Toronto, which is huge. So what would be smarter for me is, instead of, you know, I definitely put Toronto, or if I'm just outside Toronto, so let's say I want to target people in North York or Scarborough or all these little big areas surrounding Toronto. So I would list all of those areas as well. Now, if my geographic reach is even bigger than that, it gets a little bit more tricky, and Google does let you, like, I mean, whatever you put in here, you can change it later, but it's really smart to try to be very specific about the area you service, because that'll help you show up in search results for that area. So for example, I work with an accountant, and I'll show you his file later. But the accountant, again, works in a city. But what I do when I'm doing his posts on Google, and we'll get to that as well, is I will name the actual little communities around where he lives. And we stick to the same communities. And that way, anybody in his whole geographic area, he'll come up as an option whenever they're looking for a bookkeeper or an accountant. So again, so you just go ahead, so you type in Toronto, Ontario, you start there, and then I want to type in anything. Let's see if there's North York in there, and let's say there's Etobicoke. These are all the little areas surrounding Toronto, and then I would just keep going. And again, if I'm not so sure, I would just come back to it later. Okay, here, choose a category that fits your business. So business category, again, you can add something in and change it later, and we're also going to add more categories later, because we're going to maximize as many categories as Google is going to allow us to do, because I mean, if I just put in snow removal, there might be different ways to say snow removal, right? So for now, let me just put in snow removal and see what comes up. And you can only pick what Google, like one of these. You can't kind of make up your own thing. So snow removal service, right? So I'll just start off with that, and then I'll show you how to add more later on. Okay, and here you start adding in your contact information. So I'll just put in my phone number and then your website URL. And I'm just going to say I don't need a website because obviously I don't have a website for this business I'm making up. And then I'm going to click next, and then I'm going to click finish. But obviously I'm not, because I made up the business. So essentially what's going to happen is once you hit finish, very likely Google is going to send you a code to verify that you're the business owner of the business you just created. And they almost always will do that by mail. Occasionally it'll give you an option to verify you by texting you a code. But out of all the businesses I've ever set up, I've never seen that option come up. So I just wait. Just wait for Google. It takes like 3 to 6 weeks, I think, something like that. But usually I get it a little bit sooner, and all you're doing is you're taking a code, and then when you sign into your business.google.com account, it prompts you to add that code in, and then you can continue. So again, if it gives you a way to verify by text, go ahead and do that, and then you can follow along right away. If not, then you'll have to wait for the code to be mailed to you, and you might have to come back in order to finish the rest of this lesson, or these lessons that are coming up. So basically that's it. Your first step is done. You've basically requested from Google that they add you and consider adding you to Google Maps, and that you want to be a verified Google business, which is all fabulous. And then from there, there's all kinds of wonderful things you could do. So let's go ahead and jump into the next lesson.